What's going on? Boys, today we are talking scripting, social scripts, and archetypes. So we'll start with scripting. What is a social script? Well, I've been thinking about this a long time, and the conception has developed, but originally, social scripts, I thought, were the way people don't respond or speak or act the way they would act, but they act according to scripts, social scripts. You are in the situation, you say this. Someone says this to you, you respond with this sort of thing. People don't say what they themselves would say. They say what their context has programmed them to say. Maybe they're conscious of it, maybe they aren't, but this is what happens. Social scripts. Then, social scripts became archetypes. Not just archetypes in the traditional sense, but sorts of characters you have, or we have identified and mimic in certain situations. So we aren't just reading from a set of scripts we've been programmed to follow. Rather, when we find ourselves in this situation in this sort of way, we are presented a few different sorts of characters to embody in that situation. Some of my favorite comedians have identified a general version of this concept in their jokes. Jim Rome had a series of bits called, like, Guy Who Plays Little League Guy, or I can't remember any of the other Jim Rome ones, but he had an entire series, this guy, this sort of character. Jim Norton, Monster Rain Madman, had Meat and Potatoes Guy. All he needs is his beer at the end of the day and some good food and some friends and some laughs, and that's all he needs. Meat and Potatoes Guy. Sportscaster Guy. Sportscaster says nothing or says some very general things and then passes it on to somebody else without really saying anything. Guy. Archetype, not big, like, philosophical archetypes, but archetypes of people you've met. This sort of person. That's the general version of it. But specifically, when you find yourself in situations, usually your actions, one, follow a script you consciously or unconsciously have ingested, and B, that the way you come off, or the way you position yourself and act, is a sort of X guy. Identify the character, or encounter the situation, identify or fall into one of these characters, and then you follow the scripts that character would use based on what you've seen or based on what's in the culture, whatever that sort of character would use. And if you'd like to experiment with this, the next time you get into some kind of situation, ask yourself, am I being myself and am I doing what I would do? Or am I playing some kind of role I instinctively fall into based on the circumstances? I don't know about you, but when I ask myself that question, it feels like I get pulled away from the steering wheel. As in, no, it's not me. I'm framing myself around some kind of character or some kind of other idea of me or who I'm supposed to be that is not me. And then I think, well, who am I? How do I exhibit myself? And then that leads to, I don't know. If you tell me to be myself without following a character or a script, there really isn't anything there other than just trying to figure things out. As in, it's like receipts. Problem, analysis, conclusion, looping. But without characters, there's no... Other than the characters, there's no me. But why do I bring this up, and why is this important to you? Firstly, this character and scripting thing is happening, or something like it is happening. And some people are naturally very good at playing that. They know which characters to play, they know which lines to say, they know when and to whom to say them. So, if you can identify when you're selecting characters and following scripts rather than doing what you would do, you can avoid getting worked over by people who know the social scripting characters game. You can dodge their pushing you into doomed to fail roles to play. You can avoid that if you pay attention to, 1, the situation, 2, the roles other people are adopting and beginning to play, and which role you are either naturally or instinctively or from peer pressure or ego are adapting yourself. And you can pick pick the best one, the best character to play, the best scripts, the cannot fail scripts, or at least not play into whatever trap, whatever doomed character this person is pushing you into. You don't want someone to play or to notice your anger and play it and turn you into gets angry and justifies himself and seems like a bad guy anyway guy. You've seen that guy. If you're particularly angry, maybe that's even a role you might naturally adopt, but it's a losing one. So if someone is pushing you, if you're angry, and then someone is pushing you into unreasonable angry guy character, or you're letting yourself fall into unreasonable angry guy character, you can note it and either adopt a better character or turn it around on them, or at least not play into it. But it's good to identify which roles people are pushing you into. Pay attention to it. And why do I bring this up? So, I think I and people are more than just collections of preferences in absence of characters. Mark Twain called this whole concept training, and he said the best anyone can hope for. Mark Twain believed everyone was all training. Everyone was all characters, social scripts, all training. He believed the most you can hope for is one single atom of yourself in the midst of all your other training. All you can hope for is one atom. I see that, and I see that thinking. I think there's more to people than just characters and training. So, what I've been working on is when I think I'm following a script, either by my own inclination or by the way other people are acting and prompting me to act, making me act like a character, I have been experimenting with not doing that. As in, if this isn't something I myself would say, not character me would say, I try not to say it. And I think part of either finding the more to you without characters and beyond simple preferences, self-scripting is a start. Whether you build it or you find it by doing it, I don't know. But fashioning your own character to inhabit when you're speaking with people, or even when you're just around, if you can avoid falling into scripting, not just scripting in actions, but scripting in thinking. That's the really fucked up stuff. If you can not let yourself fall into character scripting act and character scripting think, the better you'll be. Even if you don't have a self to be, or if you're working on building your own self, building your own character, anything is preferable to falling into that program thinking. Don't recommend. Furthermore, once you've written your own script well enough, fleshed it out, incorporated it somewhat with other scripts, you're a fleshed out self. You have developed a fleshed out character, or more likely a variant of a variant of a variant of a character. You can fall back on your script. So if you want to be a more positive person, you can build yourself, or you can build a character of yourself as the positive person. Then, whenever you aren't feeling particularly positive, you can just be a positive person. That might not make you feel better, but at first anyway, but it's like if you are around vegetables and just vegetables, you'll probably end up eating vegetables. If you're around drugs and just drugs, all you'll use is drugs. If you build yourself a more positive script, either generally positive or goally positive, when you aren't feeling good, you aren't feeling motivated, you aren't feeling happy, you can embody that character, that script, and even if you don't feel better, you'll eventually feel better. Because you are playing out the role you have built for yourself. And that goes for the people you surround yourself with, too. If you surround yourself with people who are inhabiting positive characters, following positive scripts, you'll probably end up positive, too. If you surround yourself with negative people, following negative scripts, you'll probably end up a negative person. Not just acting negative, but thinking negative. Being negative. You want positivity. You want righteousness. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. A little more rambly this time, but I've been thinking about this for a while, and sometimes when I think about it, it freaks me out, so I wanted to pass the info along. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes, and comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. Do you play any particular characters, or have you been tricked or pushed into playing a certain character that's a negative character that's doomed? Ooh, social framing. Spooky. But thanks again for watching, everybody, really. We have a lot of fun on this channel, so much fun, in fact. Well, Jiminy Snips. My room is very barren. Shoot, we could fill up this barren room with fun. We will flood the fun in the funny room. And that's how much we have on this channel. And I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.